Well, it looks like we're doing pretty good. Welcome back, everyone, to Oasis Hill Zoo. There we go. All right, gotta work on saying that name a little bit. But welcome, everyone. Hope you guys are all having wonderful days. So as you can tell, our zoo is actually doing pretty good. It's like, people are coming in and people are going out. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. But nah, this is looking pretty good. It looks like everyone's a little hot right now, so I think we should work on getting some facilities in here. And by the way, I also got us a little few animals. I got us a nice pack of spotted hyenas. Was able to snag those right from the, what do you call it? The market? Yeah, I gotta start learning these terms. I got them right from the market, so that is pretty awesome. But I think what we're going to do right now is start to make our way over here. Nothing too crazy. I just want the path to kind of curve a little bit. But since we're doing that, I think I want to bump this up a smidge. We're going to start to work on a few facilities up here. Nothing too crazy. I really just want a information center. And on top of that, I think I may also do a bathroom because we don't actually have one of those yet. So I think that would be a nice, wonderful way to start to integrate a few different things in here. So already, right off the bat, I'm going to start with a nice big path. And I think what I'll do, I'll just kind of cover that on itself. And then over here, we can, once we get this all kind of figured out, I think, did we pause it? Yeah, we paused it. I'm trying to, as you guys can tell, I have Kai's like speed mod installed, which is kind of good most of the time for, it's kind of good for doing like, your animals, breeding and stuff like that. But when we get stuff like this, it's kind of like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be using that. Just for the sole purpose of I have no idea how to fix it. But you know what? We'll just ignore it because we don't really need to. Plus, we have a good chunk of change right now. It's not like we really need any more money for the time being. But what we do need is to make this small guest facility. So I'm just going to have this be a little bit of a bump up right here. I think that will be kind of cute. And then we can continue it on the other side as well. I'm not sure if I'll need to... Yeah, I might as well kind of just smoothen this out a smidge. I think that'll actually be a nice little curve right there. So we don't need any stairs or anything, which is good. I always like to make my zoos, for the most part, ADA compliant. Sometimes if I'm doing like old styles of zoos, I like to include some of that old kind of like, oh, we don't care about that kind of stuff just in terms of lore. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this. So I think I'm going to go all the way over to guest facilities and see what we can do. I'm not sure if we want to actually have like a full-on building or if we could actually do a counter. Let's actually go to information. I think the information stall, I would like for it to be a counter. I think that's going to be cool and we can do something custom with that. And over here, we'll go back to facilities and I'll do probably one block of toilets. I'm not sure if 2 would be better. I think maybe 2, yeah. And we could just kind of center those right there. I think that'll be pretty nice right there. And already it's nothing too crazy. It doesn't really obstruct the view all that much. But what I think I want to do over here, if we could go get some of our stucco from a while ago. Kind of stuck on you. I'm really trying out here, guys. I'm really trying. I do want to fix this up really quickly. And there we go. That should be okay. And I think what I'll do is separate that. And in order to stop the Z fighting, I'm just going to raise that a smidge. And then we're going to bring that stuff all the way over here. And what this is going to be, this is essentially going to be our little template for what I want to build over here. And I essentially don't want it to be anything too crazy. I think I kind of want this little thing to be just a little bit of a garden. I'm not really sure how you would call it. Not really a garden, but like a little outdoor area. I'm not really sure what you would exactly call that stuff. But I think with all that being said, I'm going to loop this in right over here. And hopefully we get it at the right angle. and then we can kind of tuck this in right there. And hopefully that should be good right there in terms of that. Now, what I also want to do, I want to kind of align this over here, and if we look up plaster, we should be able to find some plaster blocks, and I think these are what I kind of want to use. So let me just place that right over there so we could get the actual colors of these all lined up, and hopefully we can align these and they won't be too different. Oh, random rotations on, that's why. So if we align that right there, we should be able to get these nice plaster wall bricks, and they should be the appropriate size for everything. So I think I want to have them be right over there, kind of overlapping the counter just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And I think that's going to serve us very well right there. And I'm going to tuck that in just a smidge more. And there we go, that's a nice little counter area. What I'm doing over here, I'm not really sure. But I think we could also include some stuff. If we kind of just have this continue on a bit, we could possibly integrate some stuff for like gift shops and stuff. So I want to have that continue over one more. And I think that'll be pretty good in terms of like, you know, getting a nice wide area all set up. And I'm going to continue these plaster segments over here as well, just to keep in line with the theme and just keep everything all kind of uniform with each other. That's another thing of like my zoo design that I always like. It's keeping everything relatively cohesive to a theme. And that's something I always do suggest you guys try out, even if you haven't really done it too much before. It doesn't really hurt just giving it a nice little whirl. But I kind of do like that. That's looking pretty good. So what I think I'm also going to do, I'm going to duplicate that right over here. And I think I'm going to kind of section this off right here and do a few different things. And by that, I mean have that nice little corner right there. I feel like that's going to be super nice. And then now that we're actually over here, we can look at plaster, hopefully in the construction tab. There we go. It's already in there. That's perfect. And what I think I'm going to do, I will be using the arch pieces on the whitest of whites. I said the whitest of whites. And we'll start to section this off a little bit, just so we could actually get these nice kind of facilities all organized. And I think that should actually be pretty good for all of that. And I'll just duplicate these down once more. And hopefully not the actual bathrooms, because that would put me very much in the hole. But I think that will be pretty good right there. And what I'll also do, I'll pop over here, back with our trusty little plaster pieces. And I'll just push them down just a little bit more so we can actually get some better hallways, if that makes sense. I'm not really a big fan of having those exposed tiles right off the bat, but I think that will be pretty good right there. And what I forgot that you could do, I forgot that you guys can actually change the colors of these. I feel like no one ever does that. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have that be the same white, but I'm going to actually change these tiles to be a little bit more of a terracotta orange. So I'm just going to change that to like that red, and I'll change this one to about the same red, but put it a little bit more yellow in there. And I think that should be good. If I actually use a color over there, yeah, that's looking pretty good right there. I like that. So on the top, I believe we could actually use our terracotta and go over here with these. And I think that should turn out pretty good in the end. Really do like the vibes of that. That's really nice, actually. Oh my gosh. And I think if we take these and carry them on throughout here, duplicate that on both sides, it should look pretty good. And now, no, I just really like that. It feels super cozy. So I think what I'm also going to do, I'm going to section this off down here. And we could actually go in with our plaster pieces and start to make these walls feel like they have a little bit more structure. And have those nice, whatever you call them. I forget. I guess columns. That's kind of what they're called. Plaster segments. So we could put one right there. And then essentially a great way for kind of nailing this down. If you separate these in a group, then duplicate them and hold control, it'll actually help it align it to surface, and it'll be so much easier to place. Learning these little tricks, I gotta say, is one of the best ways to get better at building, because you build quicker and you build smarter, and that's honestly one of the best ways to achieve something that looks really good in a short amount of time, and I can't suggest that stuff enough. So I will continue this on just a little bit right over there. I don't really want anything too crazy, but I do want to section off that little wild area. And I think that does look pretty good in the end. I don't know, I just really am such a fan of this. And I will continue this on right over here. We can imply that the staff has access on the other side of the bathrooms, because I want to actually center this off and have it feel just a little bit different. I don't know, I'm not really sure what we're going to do right there, but what I will do, I think I need to place down some stuff over there. So I think if I could find plaster. I just love using the plaster pieces, guys. I'm so sorry, but they're just like the perfect piece in the game. So if I go over here, and I change this out for a different color, let's just say like a nice light gray, and place them right down there. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to slightly angle it. I know it really wouldn't make sense to have this on angle, but in terms of having this working with the terrain, I feel like this is the only best solution out there. So continuing that right over there. It does not poke through right over there. That's what I'm mainly concerned about. But now we actually have all this area for the actual staff to kind of stand behind. And I'm actually going to raise this up. And I'm actually going to raise these up as well. So now we have a little bit more of an overhang right there. And I kind of like that. It really helps the kind of vibe really settle. It still can't play. That's so weird. But I really do like that. That's super nice. And now we have this little seating area. And since I did research, I kind of did this off screen, but since I did research those, actually, you know what? No, I kind of like these benches more. What color have we been doing? We've been doing like a nice kind of mint green, so I think that's what I'm going to try and replicate. I think it's a little bit darker than that, but yeah, that's super nice right there. I kind of love this style of bench. I know they're African, but they kind of fit the vibe a lot. So this will just kind of be a nice seating area. Nothing too crazy, just a nice area for guests to kind of come to. And I think, can I do a fountain right over here? I feel like this is the perfect place for a fountain. And let's just kind of center this a little bit more, because I feel like we should probably do something like that. And I do want to change the orientation of it just a smidge, just have, you know, that nice compass rose kind of looking thing. And we can change out the color over here. Ooh, I kind of like that. Kind of like the sandy brown. Let's actually brighten that up just a bit, though. And I think we can even do a statue in here. Let's kind of see what we have. Since we can use mods over here, I'm not sure what we can use in terms of the statue. We have, like, all the reward statues. We also have all those, like, you know, all the safari pack statues and stuff like that. Probably not sea lions. I would like to have something that kind of reflects the zoo. Probably not lion. Probably not that lion. That's a little too big for me. That's too San Diego-esque. Maybe the rhino. I feel like the giraffe would be kind of cool too. I'll tell you what, maybe even the giraffe. Actually, that's a really fun one. I feel like that would be a fun goal to work towards, having giraffes in here. So, I'll tell you what, we can make that dark. I feel like that nice color would work pretty well. And I think we could even do some jets, but unfortunately I probably need to restart the game for the actual game to get back into play mode, so I'll do that later. But for the time being, we can still do some stuff while we're paused. So I want to incorporate a little bit of grass in here, and something that I was able to do, I actually stole these pieces over here, the planted wood panels, not these. Hold on, which ones were they? I think it's that one. Conservation grass roof panel. And I kind of put these wherever I kind of feel, and it creates these nice beautiful grass patches. And this is exactly what I was talking about before, having like these nice big open areas of bright green grass. That's exactly the vibe that I want in this little section, in this little zoo. It's something I really do love to see. It's such a beautiful bright green color, and I'm like, oh man, we gotta integrate a lot more of this. So I have a few of these in here, and I think we should be good if we replace this last one? Yeah. So that is really all we need right there, and then we can go in with our periwinkle. And this will be pretty nice over here. And I think if we actually group these up, this is a nice little trick that I've been able to come up with. If you just align it to surface and obviously have random rotation on, which I don't have on right now, which is a little silly of me, you can continuously place these things all over. Maybe not those last two, but definitely over here. I want to have some stuff over here, just as a way to help it feel a little bit brighter. We can even do a little bit of pizzazz right over there. And I'll even do some pieces over here. We don't have those grass panels over there, but it'll be fine. But what I do after that, kind of sink it in just a little bit, and you can see just how textured it is now, and kind of like how it's kind of peeking out. I really do love that. Looks super awesome. And then we have the Yorkshire Foggrass. Really awesome piece over here. I'm not going to use it too much in this section, just as a nice way to kind of bring some more depth to the grass. I feel like that's really useful. And we could have a few pieces here and there, just sputtered all throughout, and it'll look pretty good in the end. I don't know, I just really do like that kind of vibe. And keep in mind, I do have a lot of stuff already researched because I have played franchise in the past, and I didn't want to tear down my old franchise like map because it was a little tedious researching everything, and I just wanted to get into the fun with all you guys. And so I'm already seeing right off the bat that we should probably center this off. So I'll do that right now. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. But we can add a few pieces right here. And since I'm using these in the same group, that's why it always resets going back to the top like that. But that's looking pretty swell right there. I really do like that as a facility area. Nothing really too intense, and I'll actually copy these over here, just so we could have, like, at least a few benches or something like that, just as a way to get more guests in this area. I feel like that'd be something that we would need. Actually, maybe just one. I feel like that other one is a little bit too much. But that is looking pretty swell right there. I really do love that. And then we could add a few benches all throughout here. I want to include, not benches, bins. We can include 2 right there and 2 on the other side as well. I feel like that's just a nice way to encourage our guests to put their trash away and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's still there, but these tables sometimes have a lot of trash on them. It's kind of sad. But there we go, our nice little bathroom area. I feel like this is really coming together all nice and swell. I think I do want some more plants in here though, so let's go find some desert plants. And let's add a few saltwort bushes, just because it's a nice bright green plant that I feel like really works over here. And we just tuck a nice dry one here and there inside of these just to give it a little bit more texture. I always love that, giving these nice little areas texture. Really helps it stick out. Like, you see how sharp that is? That's super nice. And we could add just a few dead ones in there. Totally fine. Gives it a little bit more of that kind of yellowishy kind of look. We can even tuck some of the creosote bushes in there. Really helps make it into like a whole new plant, if that makes sense. I really do like that. And in the end, I think I do want to add some palm trees all over here, just as a way to help this area feel a little bit more shaded, and I feel like that really helps to sell it nicely. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else we can really add. I think we could add a couple of doom palms right over there, nothing too crazy. And just a little bit more height back there, I'm going to add some drin grass. Nothing crazy, again, just very nice, very simple. And this would probably be an area that would get a lot of, like, you know, higher grasses. I think that would be pretty nice over there. And we could even continue that on the outside just a little bit, just nothing too crazy. Just as a way to help this area feel a little bit more grassy, a little bit more taken over by nature. And it looks pretty good in the end, so how could you not like that? And I think, in the end, we really do need some cactuses. So I think having a big one right there would work pretty well. Maybe nothing right there, but definitely one like over here. I think that would be pretty good. And this whole section's kind of missing something. I'm not sure if I want like a fence right there. I think that might be alright. Let me just add that one right there. Then later down the line, if we do want to add some more, we could always add them later. But that is looking pretty fly right there. Alright, I really do like that. But what I also do like are hyenas. So I think we could actually start making our way over here. And I think this whole long stretch can be for hyenas. And I think later we could actually section this off. So we could have another branching path go out towards that way. Because I do want to expand towards that area a lot more. But I think right now, once I actually do move these out of the way, I think we could actually get to work on our little hyena area, so I'll see you guys there. So right when we get started over here, I'm just gonna let you guys know, keep your eye on like the bottom left corner. I'm not sure if that actually gets cut out with like my new form of rendering, but our money is just going down the pits, and it's something that I really need to get a grip on. So in case you guys are unaware, I only play sandbox mode really before this. I played challenge mode for a little bit, but that really wasn't too challenging, I guess. So if you guys keep your eyes posted, you'll realize that this speed build really isn't that long. It's actually only like 2 or 3 minutes long, but still, can I just say, this viewing gallery is so gorgeous. It sucks that the guests can't actually use it, or they refuse to use it. They can use it. I've seen like 1 or 2 actually use it, but still, nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. I really do love this. I don't know, I really like the wood. It feels very nice, very stucco. I really wanted it to feel a little bit Mexican. From like some of my experiences down in Mexico, there's like this beautiful, nice kind of like stucco kind of architecture that they kind of use down there. So I'm really trying to use a little bit of that, and I center those glass panes. I don't really know, I'm in pain right now, but trying to make sure that they all feel nice and center. It's a very nice open concept kind of viewing area, and I do want to go back in there later, because I don't really do much with this in the episode, but I want to go back in there later and do a lot more decorating with you guys, because I feel like it could be a lot more vibrant in there. And I feel like with the new conservation pieces, with the new African pieces, not with the new African pieces, but still the African pieces regardless, I feel like it would look really gorgeous if we do some like stuff up on the rafters, like some old pots and pans and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be really fun. And it really doesn't have anything to do with hyenas, but I think it's still a really fun idea to carry out nonetheless. And here we are on the actual exterior of the build. I'm trying to make sure that our hyenas have enough room to kind of explore and stuff like that. But before we actually do that, I work on the roof for this. I really like the style of this roof. I kind of have it be like double hinged, I guess that is how you would say it. I think it looks pretty good right there. And I also use those pieces, I think those are like the toppers, I guess, as a way to help center it a little bit more and help it feel a little bit more sturdy. And I also use the Arctic wood throughout here, just because I felt like that would be best in terms of, I don't know, really trying to center down this kind of wooden vibe that you often get with the stucco. It's very, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like Disney World, Disneyland, maybe even Disneyland Paris, but they have this kind of like in their Wild West section, with like Thunder Mountain and stuff like that nice wooden rafters on the top of you. I really want to do a little bit of that. And you can see me start to center in the rest of this habitat right over there, and I think I changed it just a little bit more. But one of my mistakes is not doing null barriers for that little glass right there. And you can see right there that we actually don't have any viewing glass right there, but I use, actually, you know what? I'll see you guys in the live view. Alright, so I hope you guys like the little speed build. Now, I'm not sure if you guys saw down in the bottom left corner, but we're starting to lose money and fast. So we gotta figure out where we're actually losing it. And because of that, I'm actually gonna hit pause really quickly. But it looks like our income really isn't doing too high. It seems the donations really need a little bit of work, but the ticket sales are going good. I'm not really sure what is happening right here, but let's see if guests are actually entering. And it looks like they are, so that's good at least. So I'm gonna try and get us back up there. It looks like this stuff is kind of going kaputs. So I think for the time being... Oh, it doesn't have power. Yeah, that would do it. So let me just go over here to our work zones. And it looks like these keep on getting unadded. So let's do entrance. Okay, cool. But no, we gotta figure this stuff out. So we can assign you to the entrance work zone. And it looks like the money's slightly going up. Maybe we could do a challenge over here. Release one habitat species to the wild. Okay, we can't release that one because he's dead. What about this man's? There we go. Nice, quick, easy cash. And the education can manage to go up a little bit more. So I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can get some stuff over here. And I'm not sure if we can integrate one of these. What kind of sounds would a prairie dog make? What kind of prints would they make? I feel like this one would probably be the best one. And I'm not sure if that's just a general one. That may just be a general one. I think we'll actually include one of these. And probably another one too. Why not? Maybe these could actually be used alongside that. We could do probably ecological restoration, which is probably one of the new ones, I think, right? And fragmentation. So hopefully that can all go up and we can get that prairie dog one all set. So far it's only still at 8%, but I think we can figure that out soon. But it looks like the money is all going up. That is pretty happy to see. But that's essentially what... Okay, that's just great. I guess it's going down again. Who escaped and where did you escape? Because that is a little silly, right? You're actually kidding me. Okay, that's just stupid. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous right there. Jose, why are you escaping now too? Okay, this is a little ridiculous. But luckily we're able to fix that up. And that door doesn't look too bad. Okay, that just kind of soured my lemonade right there, if that's even a phrase. But I think what we'll do, we'll just take a small loan. We don't really need too much out of it, but I think that will do it just fine. What I will do, however, is start to get all of this stuff all set up. So I think over here, for our hyenas, we're going to have that be nice and tight right over there. And we'll continue this up throughout here. And you can see I have this little area sectioned off. Granted, in the lore, I guess that's a staff room. But I think for the purposes of this, we're going to tuck the door right in here. Just as a way to kind of get this all to make sense. I know it's not really the prettiest, but I think it'll do just for the time being. We can even include a door right here for the time being. And later down the line, we could actually integrate all the rest of the stuff over there. But for the time being, I know I keep on saying that, we're going to set this up right there. We're going to link all these nice null barriers up. And hopefully this should be good. I usually like to make the null barriers bigger than the actual habitat for the most part. Especially with what just happened, I'm pretty sure that will be the best way to handle situations like that. So we can throw in all of our hyenas in here. And I do have the remaster installed, so that's going to be super awesome to see. And while we got those guys in here, we should be able to throw down some donation bins. It should be a really easy way to get some money for these guys too. And I do want to decorate that area just a little bit more soon. But for the time being, I just wanted to get our game back running again and work our way back up with some money. But I think that should be good right there. And our hyenas, let's bring them out right over here. And look how beautiful they are. Look at that. Alright, those little goofballs are going to have a hell of a time in here. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to have their habitat dip down a little bit. I think that'll be cool to see. And hopefully the size of the habitat is fine. I think it is. Yeah, it's about twice as much as they need. And I think as we add more in here, it'll kind of change itself a little bit more. But that's going to be super awesome to have. And it looks like money is going on the up and up. And I think in terms of power, we're going to need to put something back here. And let's just see. I wish we had the JWE power utilities, because those work really well. But I think that's a little too excessive for that right there. I think we could get by with the transformer if we just tuck it probably up here. that's probably going to be the best area to put it in, specifically because of that over there. I'm going to want some education boards and stuff right over there too. So if we can flatten this out just a smidge and then just get rid of these bushes, we should be okay. But I just want to make sure that we can get this guy right in here. We can kind of flatten this area just a bit. And as much as I do want to pause the game because of their, like, laughing, not my laughing, but the hyenas, I can't because we gotta get some more money. So all we gotta do is add some curbs right here. I think I want to have this aligned to grid, bump that out right there. And we can kind of push this all throughout here. It'll be a nice, really simple way to get some more power in this area. And I think it's far enough from the guest to not make any impact, if that makes sense. And I think we could even include some stuff right over here. I say some stuff, I mean some walls. So we push these up all the way throughout there. And that'll just be a super easy way to get all that stuff in there. Nice. And I think I will double click that and do this in a group instead. I feel like that's probably a lot better anyways. And because of that, we could just duplicate that and put it on its side right there. That'll be super nice, right? So right there, we can tuck that in right there. And then now we officially have these beautiful, nice walls as a way to kind of section off that little power area. I just feel like those are always so unslightly that any way that we're able to hide those is excellent. So all we gotta do is really just turn this on its side a bit more and tuck that in a little bit. I think that should be fine. So now the power really isn't visible to the guests. I think I'll add like a gate in there soon, but what I really want to focus on for this episode is getting this hyena habitat all settled. So pushing these down right here, I will be doing the same thing on this side, just adding a few more kind of like, what do you call these? Columns. So we throw a couple down here. And because of that, yep, okay, perfect. And it looks like all the guests are making their way over to the hyenas. That is great. It seems like we made a wonderful investment. And money's going up, so that's perfect. But yeah, these guys seem to have a nice little habitat. And unfortunately, I forgot to actually give them their food. So if we look up... Oh god, okay. If we look up hyena, we actually do have a lot of stuff for these guys. Because I did build for kind of like dogs before. So a lot of their enrichment really does carry over, even though I think hyenas are closer related to cats. I could be mistaken. But here we go. We have a few toys for them to play with. I don't really want to change the colors on those, but I want to change the color on here. We can change that one to yellow. I think that's looking pretty good right there. We need another toy, so I think I'm going to put the sack down there. I think that'll be a super nice one. And we can put the water over there. Nothing too crazy. Just a nice way to integrate all that kind of stuff in there. And do they need any hard shelter? I'm not really sure. Let's hit play for a little bit. They do need some grass though, so I'm going to add a whole bunch of that to their little habitat. And they need just a bit more short grass. So that's what I'm going to do in these like corners. And then we can kind of integrate that with like, you know, a whole bunch of plants and stuff like that. I think that'll be super nice to have. And they need a little bit more soil, so we can do that on the edges a bit more. I think that's going to be super nice. They need less sand too, so I think with a rock, I like this kind of rock as like a nice darker texture. I feel like that works out pretty good for these guys. So we can have those at like the edges of those little viewing areas. And then I'm just going to use like 20% grass throughout here, just as a way to get those numbers up. And there we go, looking pretty nice right there. I really do love that viewing gallery. I don't know why they're not actually using it. It's just such a nice area to look at them from, right? You would think, at least. I don't know. Are they not able to see through those glass pieces? I really can't tell. But these guys seem to be doing pretty good now. 80% welfare. Their habitat could use a little bit more in terms of hard shelter. And in terms of that, I think I may want to do something a little funky. I think what we'll actually do if we align this to the surface and kind of rotate that on its side a little bit more and push it up. I think what we can do is if we search up organic, we can get some nice sails. And this is something I really want to do over here. I really just want a nice organic kind of looking thing. So if we change the colors out for these, I think I kind of like this nice dark blue. We would kind of have that be right over there. We can push these guys in a little bit more, just as a way to kind of decorate this a bit more. And then that way they can have all the shade that they want in that nice little corner area. And I think that's going to be super awesome for them. So what I'll even do beyond that is kind of get this all set. And if I could get position snap rotation, we could actually align these on a nice vertical axis. And we can incorporate these guys this way. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so nice. Alright, so if we push these on either side, then we do the same thing for the other axis. It'll all look nice, it'll all kind of look like it's drooping at the same rate, which is good. And then we could add that one right over there. And hopefully they should be alright with all that. Seems like they need a little bit more, but once we get some trees in here, I think it should be okay. So let's actually go to environment. We got to get some nice big trees. So let's just look up all this stuff. I don't want to do baobab trees. That really isn't something that you would get in here. But maybe the cork oak tree. I feel like that gives enough shade, but let's see what else we have. The fever trees are going to be super awesome. Let's see. Yeah, because fever trees can actually grow in these areas. Let's see if we can tuck that in right there. And if that gives all the hard shelter. Okay, that still doesn't, but I still like that though. So maybe we could tuck another one right over there. Honestly, yeah, I kind of like that. And then throughout here we could also add like a whole bunch of rocks and stuff. Kind of just get all that stuff taken care of and kind of working with the landscape a little bit more. Usually I add the rocks in first, but this is not really what I do normally. This is honestly a nice change of pace. So, oh gosh, we're already out of money. I'll tell you what. I'll figure this out in the speed build right before it, and we're going to enter another speed build. So I'll see you guys there. Well, that turned out to be quite a little adventure getting all that money back, but listen, it looks like we're all in the green. We got $3,000 right now, and in fact, I think I might be able to pay off that loan. Let's go to finances, and yeah, it's already repaid. That's perfect. Alright, let me just sit up in my chair right over here. This is looking pretty good so far, guys. I, for one, never realized how expensive the large drin grass is. And, yeah, that's gonna be broken soon, so we gotta call a mechanic. But if we go over here, and we do Control D, that's 40 bucks. Oh my god, I never really realized that. That's kind of excessive right there, especially for some kind of crappy grass. But all things considered, we have a beautiful little habitat now for our hyenas. They have quite a bit of space in here, and I think, yeah, it kind of just makes a cut right there. Seems like their environment is all doing pretty good as well. Their enrichment is all up to snuff. And, you know, their population is good. This guy doesn't have the best immunity. But as you guys can hear them probably, they are laughing up a storm, which is pretty good to have. And we can actually see them play. Oh, that's so cool. I never realized how cool their animations were. Oh my gosh, I love how they laugh at each other too. That's awesome. And you might have noticed we also have a little baby. That's adorable too. Look at that little dude. I do have Dr. Hyena's remaster on right now just because I think it really helps these guys look a lot better. But yeah, this is just really good. And in terms of everything else, it seems like they're not really making use of this little viewing area, which is kind of a shame. Let's see if I could probably entice them to. I think I may put down like a couple benches over here. I gotta decorate the interior of here too. I'm not really too happy with it so far. But I think if we put down a couple over here, maybe we could get some more guests in there. I don't really know why they're not going over there. Another problem I had over here too was... Oh, let's fix that. Another problem I had was guests walking over this fountain. And essentially I learned this from Just Goron. If you use these, what are these? The barriers? If you sink them into the ground just a little bit, they can also work as intended, which is really good. So I have a few of these kind of sunken into the ground a little bit, and yeah, it works pretty well. Seems like this guy isn't at work right now. I don't really know why he isn't, but that would be where the information stall would be. And if we go over here to the gift shop pack, we can throw a few like gifts over here. I think we already have a few animals. It's actually, yeah, we don't even have any of these animals, but you know what? I think we could put like a few panda plushies over there. I feel like that'd be a cute thing to have. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Looks like money's kind of staying stagnant right now, which is good. Like, it's better than it's better than going down, really. A few other things I've been trying to do. I've been trying to get the education for the black-tailed prairie dogs up a little bit more, and because of that, I kind of hid these in the ground a bit. But I'm not sure if they actually work if they're underground. It kind of sucks that they're not. But still trying to work with everything over here. It seems like everything is pretty good. Education is still kind of down in the pits, but we're trying to work with that. I think I'll also duplicate these right over here because I feel like we need, I don't know, just a few more vending machines. I think we could have them actually right here. Let's get rid of that bench and we can bring these guys over here too. I just feel like having these guys over here might be a lot better as well, just to help get some other like traction over here, if that makes sense. And then we can go over here, go to work zones, and add those in right there. And we forgot to add the information kiosk right there too, which hopefully should fix it. And do we actually have that power thing? Nope, we don't. Okay, cool. Just in case if something would have went over AWOL over there. And I think what I'll also do over here, I want to include some more grass. So we can go through with our trusty little periwinkles and do the same thing as before, sink them into the ground just a little bit. We can go through with the Yorkshire foggrass, if I can select it. And we can do a few little strands of these guys all throughout here. Really nice and really simple, just helps to brighten up the area out a little bit more. And let's see what other desert trees I really haven't been using recently. I'm not sure if we should use a quiver tree. I kind of like it, but I'm not sure if it fits the vibe of the area just yet. Maybe once we get to like some bigger African animals, we can start to import some like of those beautiful African foliage things. Yeah. But over here, I think just having our classic cactus would be a really nice... It looks pretty nice against that wall, so I'm going to keep those guys in there. And I'll also put down a few prickly pears. And hopefully, we can almost be done with this today. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. It's super fun to put together, especially like trying to problem solve and everything. It's just such a fun little experience. I hope you guys are enjoying too. So I'm just going to tuck a few of these bushes here and there, just as a way to kind of help it feel a little bit more dry, feel like a little bit more of a desert. And let's actually plan for our next animal. I say the next episode we can just jump right in with whatever and just figure something out. So I think I want to stick with these kind of desert animals. So I think I'm going to stick with grassland and desert and kind of just see what is in here. So I'm just going to change that to habitat. And we can see what we can kind of work with. Keep in mind I do have some mods installed. So that's probably why you're seeing stuff like the demoiselle crane and like the domestic chickens. These guys are so freaking cool. The emu would be a wonderful one to have. Unfortunately, it's not in the game. But I'm trying to figure out what might be a fun contender over here. Meerkats might be kind of fun to build for, but since we already built for the prairie dogs, it really wouldn't make too much sense. Sable antelopes, I want to stay away from that bigger hoof stock for now. I really like these kinds of animals, the ones that have like a little bit more of a unique kind of aspect to them, if that makes sense. Buffaloes, dholes, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. What about a kangaroo? I feel like a kangaroo might be kind of fun. Yeah, let's actually look them up, honestly. It's perfect. Alright, red kangaroo. And we can just get a bunch of females, nothing really too crazy, and we can get started on that tomorrow. Maybe we could even make it a little bit of a walkthrough. I'm not sure why there aren't any, conservation listings. Are we not connected to the Wi-Fi? I'm not entirely sure. Also, pretty good that we added that there, because it looks like everyone's using that. But it looks like that should be it for today. Doesn't seem like anyone's really going to come over to the hyenas, unfortunately. But I'll tell you what, we can end it with the hyenas. And yeah, it seems like, yeah, we have $7,000, $8,000. We're doing pretty good. So we'll end it right there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are always the best. Be sure to leave me any advice in the comments down below, because the Lord knows I'm going to need it. But I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye-bye.